Welcome back, tributes, to episode 80 of Into the Arena. I'm Holly.
I'm Ronnie.
Emily's not here today, but that's okay. We have the lovely Ronnie, who is a part of Into the Arena. And we are so excited because today we get to talk to the Leven Rambin, aka Glimmer, from the Hunger Games. But she's also been in All My Children, Wizards of Waverly Place, and she has a new movie coming out at the end of May called Last Night on Earth. So we're just going to dive right into our conversation. Check out her book. It is currently out now. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Levin! Oh my goodness,
Hi.
hello. How are you doing? We're so excited to have you. It's an honor to actually be able to talk to you.
It's so cool to be able to connect with Hunger Games fans like through this book. Like it's really nice to meet you too.
Let's just dive right in, I guess, get this episode started. We probably need to talk a little bit about your book. Like, when
Yeah.
did you first decide that this was something that you wanted to pursue? And what was that writing process like?
Yeah. I think it was during the actors strike last year. I just saw that I just was bored and I'm always creative. I always have something else that I'm working on, whether it's my album that's on Spotify or directing music videos or short films or feature films or creative directing stuff. Like I'm always producing something. And so, I was on TikTok a lot and social media, and every single time I log on, people ask me what it was like to be in the Hunger Games. And what was it like to work with Jen, and what was it like to be on set, and what was my favorite character. And it was kind of hard. It was like draining to talk about it every single
Yeah.
day. So like, why don't I
Yeah.
just write a book, like a quick book and or like a little ebook or something, and like just throw it up like on my website. Of course, with my brain, it like evolved into like a memoir, and it's like an epic journey of like how I started acting at 14. And I wanted to be a singer at first, and like all the influences that led me to like stumbling into acting, and then
Mhm.
how I got my first job and my acting teachers. Like it goes deep into like my emotional inner journey of how and why I started acting, and all of the like naysayers that I encountered, and the mindsets that I had to have to like be successful, and the people that fired me, and just stuff like that. And then like the anxiety and the panic attacks that I've dealt with, and
Mhm.
like body image issues and age stereotypes. Like it goes in,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I really wanted it to be like heartfelt, and it's my diary of like what my life has been like, but focusing on the Hunger Games because of like the fan base that's still really there. And I was like, I think people will buy this and find it. And I have been in so many other great roles. So it's like I have a lot of fun with the character of Glimmer too. Like she's so unapologetic and fabulous. There's just something about her that like I still carry with me that's like, yeah, I am gonna write my own book, like period. Like I don't care if I was on the screen for 5 minutes. Like I don't care. Like I'm still like deserve my own book. So that's kind of the energy. It was just like, yeah, like I don't see anyone else from the cast writing a book about, you know,
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
in-depth like feelings like that went into it. And like for the fans, I think they're gonna love it. So I
Mhm.
did this for the fans to like feel like they have more of like an internal look at it and closer to it, and also understand the struggles that go into being a celebrity or being a movie star or whatever. Like it's
Yeah.
very honest. It's very honest.
We've been talking about this book for like months. Like I'm just so excited to finally get my hands on it. Besides Glimmer, who is your favorite character from the first Hunger Games?
I mean, Katniss obviously is up there.
Yeah.
And Prim. And as far as capital people, I like Tamich. I always love Tamich.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
When you first found out that you got the role of Glimmer, what's like a one word reaction that you got the role?
What?
What was that audition process like?
Yeah, I do write a lot about it in the book. I remember everything very distinctly because it was such a big deal to me. And I was a huge fan of the books, like nerd vibes. And so I was like, just I would do anything to be any part in the movie. Like I say in the book, like it was a smaller role for me, but I didn't care. I would have done like catering on the movie. I just wanted to be there. I was obsessed with the book. So I had to fight for that audition. Originally they didn't want to see me. I was like a little
Really?
older. Yeah, I was a little older, but then when Jin was cast, it was like I was perfect for that as like her
Mhm.
peer. And I remember one of the makeup artists being like, I fought for you, like, or actually it was the costume designer, Judy. She was like, I fought for you for them to see you because I just saw your picture and I knew you were perfect. And so I give her the credit for fighting for me. I
Oh,
went to Gary Ross's house, which there's a whole chapter about this in the
Oh my
book.
gosh.
I
wow.
know, I couldn't believe it. I'm like on top of like auditioning for this movie. It's actually at his house with him. Like, what the F? Like, so I was extremely nervous, but I spent like a month preparing for that audition. I was like, I have to nail this and I have to be like so prepared that I'm not nervous. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of funny like side notes in the book that I don't want to spoil, but it's like I walked in and I was the only girl like wearing cargo pants and everyone else was in like sundresses for this role. And I was like, did I miss something? You know? And
Yeah.
I brought my own bow and arrow like to the audition. So I went all out and I kind of blacked out during it. And then yeah, like the rest was history.
Yeah, you were very prepared.
I was very prepared, period. Period.
Yes.
Great line, honestly, like snaps. So if there's like any sort of like team career pack, who would you pick for your career pack?
Like in real life.
Any
Oh,
Who's
celebrity?
in
real
your
life
career
people?
pack? Yeah, you can
Oh
pick
my
Yeah,
anyone.
gosh.
anybody.
Okay. Wow. Who would you guys pick?
I would
You
pick
know,
you.
yeah.
Oh,
We have to,
Yes.
yes.
You were in the
Someone
Hunger
fighting at the
Games
front.
before.
Yeah.
I would pick my fiance because he was a Marine and he would probably know his way around things. I would pick Elon Musk because he could probably just build us a rocket ship and get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Um, and I would pick my dog because I wouldn't want to die without her. She's sitting right over.
Oh,
That's
that's so
sweet.
cute. In the books, at least, like it's kind of implied that Clove and Kato kind of get together, but in the movies, it's more like you and Kato get together. Um,
Mhm.
was that just kind of like a direction thing, or was that kind of more improvised?
Big chapter in the book, Plato versus Cato. It's a
Oh,
big
yes.
topic.
Why
It's
do
a
you know the
big
ship
topic.
Yay.
name?
Yeah, it's a big topic on social media. I didn't know how big of a deal it was going to be and like how passionate people would be about Clado instead of Glado, but it was a direction thing. It was Gary Ross's idea, and I don't know if it's because like he saw Xander and I's chemistry, or like maybe Isabel just looked so much younger. Like I
Yeah,
think that could have been what it was, but there needed to be some sort of like flirtatious energy going on, or else it was just I think it added like dynamics to the movie. And so, you know, I think Xander and I looked like a better fit potentially, but I still think that Clove and Kato have like their moments, like when she like
yeah.
screams for him, like you can still see the bond, but it's like, it's not Glado. So
I think it looks really good for the movie. And like
mhm.
you guys have really good chemistry as well.
Yeah, so I think it was a great choice. I didn't know it was going to be so upsetting to so many people, but I definitely am a Glado stan, so people come for
Same
me.
as well.
Yeah,
You
same.
kind of you canonized that for me because like in the books I was like I feel like Glimmer and Kato need to be together, and when you
Ooh,
guys
oh
did
my
that in the
God.
movie I was like yes, all right, go off Queen, I'm here for it.
Go off. Yes.
If there's like somebody else that you would want to read about their experience filming, who do you think it would be?
First person that comes to mind is Jen, obviously, but I mean, I was there, so I kind of like know. But I think Willow and Amandla, because they
Yeah.
were so young and like they've both grown up into such like wonderful women that I don't know. Like, so I just would love to see it from their perspective because like a lot of us were older and like I don't know how they felt being, in relation to us and if they like understood the material. I would be curious to see how that like affected them or
Yeah.
or uh, what their perspective was on that.
Are there any deleted scenes that you filmed that aren't in the movie?
I mean, I think the first thing that comes to mind is like, more elaborate fight sequences that we
Yeah.
rehearsed for months and months and months. There were some other like improvised moments in the forest with Xander and myself that were kind of more flirtatious. And then, I mean, I did a whole interview scene with Caesar, more like Cato's, you know, so obviously they had to edit it down for time and everything, you know, like you can't control that. And I'm happy with the way that it turned out.
Do you write about creating this character and building who Glimmer is? Because
Absolutely.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that you had this process to create this profile of a character.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I talk about who my inspirations were for the character. One of them was Paris Hilton.
Oh my gosh,
That's
yes.
awesome.
But, you know, because it's like I wanted her to have this like Jekyll and Hyde quality that made her kind of like unpredictable and fabulous, but also and like using her flirtatious, you know, thing, like when she's like, oh, Caesar, like she's totally like playing it up. But she's also like a killer, like, you know, so she has these like two sides, and then like this sad damsel side when Cato kind of like doesn't save her with the tracker jackers, and she's, you know, so there was at least, yeah, I write about all of that, and who I, you know, whose movies I watched very intently to kind of steal some of their performance. So you'll see that in the book.
Do you have her backstory as well, like what you kind of came up with?
I don't do that too much unless it's like, you know, pivotal moments in her life. And I think I think I tried to create like a family for her, and like at what moment was like wanting to be a career, and why she got into that, and what caused her to kind of split this personality like this and be so vicious, and why did she feel she had to win everything. So moments like that like create like some just like desperation, or like some parent issues, you know, like that helps you kind of like propel the story in your performance. But it wasn't too detailed or anything. I tried to picture what it was like living in District 1, you know, and versus some of the other districts, and what that like life would be like. And I thought she would be like Paris Hilton, you know, kind of like, I'm the heiress of this whole thing, and like you peasants, like whatever. So that's as far as I went with the backstory, I think.
Yeah.
Did you think that it was going to be as big as it ended up being?
Yes, I did. I mean, I thought it was going to be bigger. I'm just kidding. I mean, it, you know, we all knew that, like stepping onto set, and I talk about that in the book. Like there was this feeling of like this epic feeling, and like we all wanted to make it that, and everybody showed up. There was like not one person just like, oh, I don't want to be here. Everybody wanted to be there, and like knew that we were making like something really iconic. And so the pressure was on, but also it was like, I don't know, shared by everyone. So it was always like the standards were just really, really high for filming. There was never like a phone it in moment that I can think of. Every moment was very on point for filming. And sometimes it's not like that in movies. Like you're like, oh, like this scene, whatever. No, it wasn't like that. Every scene was like, you know, very important.
You can definitely tell the care that went into the production of that movie. I mean, I rewatched it the other day, and it's so good. Like it holds up so well. And if anything, like I think it gets kind of better with age, because I think it's a little bit more poignant nowadays than it was back in 2012. So good. Did you like end up keeping anything from set?
No, I don't. I tried, but like
I'm sure it's hard.
Like they wouldn't let me. Like I feel like they ended up putting the costumes like in the museums and stuff like that. Like they ended up using the costumes for purposes like that. So unfortunately, like no, but you know, we have a lot of like keepsakes that the cast passed around, like little gifts that we gave each other. And like I had everyone sign my book, and you know, I can't find that copy. I talk about this in Glimmer's game. Like I had like, I didn't know everyone super well. Like you know, I was really close with the tributes. Like we were always hanging out together, and we were kind of seated over here, and Josh, Jen, and Liam were more kind of like over here. And maybe, I don't know, because we weren't that big of characters, or I don't know. It was a lot of us all the time too. You know, I mean, it's like 20 people at a time. It's a lot for a set, a cast. Usually it's, you know, it's not that much. Like 20 featured people is a lot. So I wasn't like that close to Jen, or, you know, some of them. Josh, I knew him from before, but, and like, you know, some like Donna and Sutherland, you know, just people like I wasn't, but I had like the courage to like ask everyone to sign my book. and they all left me like a sweet note in there, especially Lenny. So
Oh,
yeah, so I can't find that copy. I've moved so many times, but like I know it'll pop up unless someone
Yeah.
like stole it, but it'll come up, and it like keeps me awake at night that I can't find it.
I have a couple of autographed copies, and if I lost it, it would also keep me up at night. Like,
Yeah,
don't blame
I
you.
know.
it
So
does. It keeps me up.
I guess to kind of wrap things up, to finish up talking about your book, what are you most excited about for fans' reception and their excitement? Like, you talked so much about your emotions and what you really put into this book. So what are you really hoping to get out of it and really hoping that we as readers take from the book?
Yeah, I mean, I made very sure that I covered like every topic that I thought fans would want to hear about. And I tried to really collaborate with the fans like in the writing, and asking them on social media, like, what is there anything else that I should add? Like, is there anything else you want to know? So they would always like throw something at me like, oh, what about like the pink dress in the interview scene? Or like, what about like Clado? Or what was Wizards of Waverly Place like? And I put all of it in there. Like there's like no stone unturned as far as, and like the premiere and what that was like, and like the fitting for my dress for the premiere, and the audition process, and like everything you guys have talked about. I'm happy that I covered like everything. So and like the relationship with the cast that I still talk to, and that I like the friendships that I have. And I don't know, what are you guys excited about?
I think I'm just so excited to hear like the emotional aspect of it and what getting into this role was like. I'm really excited to hear all about just like the process of becoming Glimmer and the process of like navigating your life at such a young age and taking on such like a captivating role. And so I think like I can speak for all of the fandom when we say we're so excited.
I mean, honestly, kind of ditto. I'm just, like I said, since I'm an actor, filmmaking process is just so fascinating to me. So I just want to hear from your point of view. And I'm sure you have a lot of really good stories.
I
Yeah.
And
do.
from
I do.
set, like,
And I also put in there a lot of like for people that are like actors or want to be actors or want to be filmmakers or want to be in the business, like a lot of stories that I hope that serve as like inspiration.
yeah.
And I say like that this book is for fans of the Hunger Games, obviously for fans of mine, any other projects I've been in, but also for like dreamers and creatives that want to get started into something, who have big dreams like I did at 14 years old, and how I ended
Yeah.
up in my favorite book ever movie. Like it's possible. So I have a lot of that in there also.
That is so inspiring. So we are so
Yay.
grateful. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast. It's been great to have you, and everyone go check out the book. It is already out when this episode is out, so you can find it on Amazon. Go ahead and read it, check it out, share with
Follow me on
Leven.
social media.
Yes.
I'll be talking
Yes.
about it. I'll be
Join
talking
the
about it.
Broadcast Besties
Yeah,
The
channel.
join.
best channel. I love the channel so much.
Yes. Great
Thanks,
talking
Holly.
with you.
Thanks, Ronnie. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoy it.